Hello, everybody, aka Hollywood, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About Tom Welling, as I promised the other day. Now, I'm not going to make it a super long one now. I just wanted to do something, on his behalf. I just had to do something for his sake, in his defense, even though I have every right to be, mad. I'm supposed to be mad, right? We are fighting. I'm mad, right? But you can see I'm having a hard time. Mad. Angry, it's hard to be angry at something that looks at you like that, right? When you know the conversation, it's very difficult. However, stuff did go wrong and it's bad. And so I want to sort of combine that part of what happened in meeting him in our first photo op and the truth behind some things around that before it blows up and becomes viral, because it will, as my year progresses and everything I'm doing around my photos. If you have been to my website, you can see in the Valentine's section, I have professional pictures there where people can go and buy some of those things and other things available. People can order from futureproductions.online. So as I said before the other day, there's more pictures coming. I'm going to go for more professional portfolio stuff because my recovery from my revision surgery has gone really well. And I'm back at a place in my health where I'm able to hit the gym again and get myself back into shape. And I can pull out clothes I miss wearing and sort of look like the girl I should, a little bit much older, but still the same sort of. But I just wanted to make sure that before it hits the whole world and all this hubbub comes since the situation of his DUI last year. I don't know if I can find it. Hang on. Okay, so I'm going to start with that. We're going to start with Hello Magazine. So what I'm trying to explain for Tom, I'm sorry, Tom, but it has to be done. Somebody needs to protect you, and that's my job. I'm a bodyguard, aka security. So he's not reading anything, and he should be. He's not doing background checks or research and stuff. And last year, somebody wrote this, and lots of people are noticing and saying stuff, but nobody's ever saying it to him. They're just too polite. So Tom Welling is worlds apart from his Smallville days in unrecognizable mugshot. That would be the mugshot. Now, I was in Vancouver when this happened last year, and I was not amused. I was upset because he was, drunk at Arby's, whatever, wishing her a happy birthday, saying she's the best thing that ever came into the universe. I was walking down the street from the library and he could feel it. He knew I was there and he was aware that we've met and he knows that I'm the writer of things and hasn't read it and doesn't talk about me or say my name. Now, not to be offensive or mean, he's not trying to fight with me. Probably on the contrary, because we're getting along too well. We don't have to talk to just know what's going on, except he doesn't know, right? The mugshot and the things people are saying about him. Right? It's a far cry from the guy he was. And we're watching this happen and we just don't know what to say about what we're watching happen take place in him because we don't recognize who he is. And in that process, people are going to see more information that's available. And I thought, in his defense, though he made that DUI mistake, he's not crazy enough to actually elicit the support of Lucifer. He's not going to say it was better for him to switch to Lucifer, the TV show, and probably regret being on the show now. But Superman works for God. He's the good guy. And Halloween is not a joke. And we shouldn't be practicing the devil's day. You can have costume parties, but you have common sense any time of the year of what you're going to get and where you're going to go. So he was smart enough not to put the Superwoman costume in the Halloween closet because it's not. And on paper in my books, he is definitely taken. The character still lives and can still make work, right? He's alive in my eyes on those pages. That costume doesn't belong in a Halloween closet. So one of the things that happened was that Jessie had commented about, how much she liked him better in Lucifer. And he put that on his Instagram saying, she prefers me in that show. So she's not aware. She's not there back up enough in his career. She left something on her Instagram account. I probably might still be there. And people are going to see this at some point. And I don't want him to be at a public event somewhere at a Comic-Con and all of a sudden this chaos and travesty happens and there's all this hubbub and talk. So here goes. I'm going to do it for you, Tom. Forgive me. So yeah, this is Bali. And at the bottom it says, getting gorgeous in Bali. I don't know where it was. Skin and bones. Like, that's not even funny. And over here, I want to get to the point over here. Over here, it's not even funny. Okay, I just want to declare, I want to make sure everybody understands this was before Tom's time. I don't know what they were celebrating. I have no idea if it was Halloween. Hallows Eve. It doesn't matter. It's not good. I just wanted to make it clear, clarify. This guy in the back, as tall as he might look, as much as it might seem similar, that is not Tom Welling. Okay, it's not Tom. Just to defend Tom, I just wanted to make sure everybody understands that's not Tom. And I didn't want to have him to go through that in a public forum at a Comic-Con, going, wait a minute, I have something to say here. I need to say something in my self-defense. That's not me, in spite of how tall this person is. But that person is still in the picture, and he would know who that person is. I could say more, but I won't, because I'm kind of hoping he'll come and make me stop saying the things I do know, because he's like, don't say that, right? So anyways, that's how I feel about the situation, about the stuff that he doesn't allow himself to know because it might hurt him, sensitive feelings and things, right? But because he didn't do a background check. Versus Charlie Baker when he was young, and me getting my first glasses, like I'm the Superwoman and the newspaper reporter and Charlie Baker's wife, Jennifer Baker, all that wrapped up in one. And you can see we have identical smiles. So I like to get back to why we're fighting and what I'm mad about. Because for 2 years in a row, he wrote the best thing that ever came into the universe. Right? Like if you were trying to wish me a happy birthday, would be nice if you just said it directly. You know, go into the inbox, write me back or something. But I'm fairly certain there's a huge difference there that everyone can see. Like, I don't even wear, what do you call those, platforms? I mean, I had a few, but they go with costume purposes. So that's my happy Tom. That's why I was always smiling growing up. And when he was interviewed and he was married to Jamie, he was still smiling. Because there was a story going on inside. There's a fight, a war. I'm keeping this man alive. And so that goes with my work. The Smallville reunion movie. So yeah, it does exist. And yeah, I do have other stuff. 26. So I got some good stuff. Superman. We got to rewatch the Superman movies. So I just wanted to say that in his defense. That's not Tom Welling. Honestly, Tom was not a guy to do this Halloween thing. The first time they went to a party together, he wasn't wearing any costume at all. He was just walking in the scene behind her camera in the party on the video she was recording in a t-shirt and jeans. Just being himself, smiling, walking through the crowd, not sure what to think. He's just, maneuvering. And she's like, isn't he a handsome devil? That's what started things, because I fought back. I defended him. I wrote a comment. Now, for the months and months and months they were dating publicly, I never said nothing. I did nothing. I just stood back and let life be. But when she blocked the Facebook for Superwoman's page and then did that, well, this security guard in me is like, well, that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. I wrote back and said, no, he's not. As in, he's not a handsome devil, right? I said something silly. God, it's the poet in me, the writer. So I'm like, it's just a girl thing. I said, He's halos in heaven. Okay? And then I'm like, take it down, right? Change it, right? Apologize. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, right? He's super, right? He's Charlie Baker, man. He's a baker. It's Steve Martin movie. Ah, right. It doesn't get better than that. And then he got the role, right? And he turned it down many times because he's so humble. You have to all remember something. Tom Welling was not born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He's worked for where he's at. Comes from a blue-collar family. His dad worked for GM, moved all over the place. I'm not going to mention all the places. But the point is, he had to work for a living, worked in construction. He's a carpenter, axe cutter. He knows nothing about horses, although he loves riding horses. He's never ridden on the right size horse, and knows nothing about how to shop for that or the experiences I'd love to offer him in our friendship as it blooms. And dressed up in cowboy clothes, he's not Harrison Ford. It doesn't even come close. And there's so much in the background missing around pictures and his previous modeling career that doesn't even touch upon anything in producing these new pictures. He's wearing the wrong clothes based on his living experience and background of things he's already done for a living, whether with photography or in his acting, based on his work history with his blue-collar family background, all that stuff. Even in the show, it drove me bananas how they dressed Clark. It was too cheap. It was wrong suits, ties. It wasn't right clothes, outfits. It was so just, let's stick to the budget and make him so plain. But he's super, right? He's Clark. He's Kal-El. He's from Krypton, another planet, and he's trying to figure out how to get back there. And the thing is, they never broke out to different locations and tried to venture off into adventures. And I was not finished with the show. It was my intention to do 5 more seasons, to go back to work shooting episodes from the stuff I had already written. When I said, wait a minute, they're making mistakes. I have to get in there and fix it. There was casting call for season 9. I couldn't make it because I didn't have the money to drive my car back down to Vancouver because the work was inconsistent where I was, and it was very dangerous on the Highway of Tears. And every little publicity promotion I tried to do from then to now is still not working outside of what I share when I can through all of what I do. I do still send out emails, and I do still send out regular mail. So hopefully that'll fix things. I will be going out on tour. I do know how to sign up for my own table this year and do other reading events. But we should have tied with Supernatural. There should have been 15 seasons. Now I'm stuck with just a 2-part movie, and the clock is ticking out of time because no unsolicited material is accepted. And now I'm watching Netflix, Paramount, and Warner Brothers try to make a deal together because they need a lot of money in order to keep all the rich people rich and keep their foundation going to make some sort of movies and stuff. But if the solicited material that you're getting is no good, you're going to end up with no good results. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not Canada or Canadians that are making Hollywood rich. We're not the ones going to see all the movies. We like to read. We watch European stuff, and we watch our own Canadian productions. We have a vault in the National Film Board of Canada with over 7,000 films in history that America should be watching in their theaters and paying us to see. Right? The glorified moment of my life is the fact that nobody owns me. This has not been sold to anybody. These are my original stories here. It doesn't belong in America. It's not banked in America. I'm not going to America to make this work. Smallville wasn't made in America. A lot of Superman was made in Canada. It's our character. It's our money, our rights. So bringing those companies together isn't going to produce anything. The Green Lantern, all the 9 gems. If you don't know the history, if you don't do the research, you can't make those films. And remaking stuff off the original stuff and talking about the same stuff over and over again, it's not going to fix the current available stuff with the right mind that's already there at the right age with the right experience that does know everything. I promise you I do. All the way back to River Phoenix passing away and Interview with the Vampire and Christian Slater and the second movie that was never allowed to be made because Christian's instinct knew this is not right. And he made a good decision, right? God bless him, and God bless God for calling him Christian. I can't wait to catch up to him. But I'm just trying to say that my foundation here is being messed with. Other people in the public have noticed, Tom, the change. Now, last year on the DUI, I'm going to show what I did. Last year on the DUI, in spite of fighting over what he posted and his DUI, I went and bought a white rose. And I laid it out with the book, the first book of the 2-part movie, with my glasses, the way I see the world, and some of the products, in spite of being upset about the situation, because it doesn't make a good example for the world, for kids, to learn that Superman's driving drunk and getting arrested and not knowing who to call for help. And since Janet is very far away, he can't call Janet to come and get him because he can't tell his mom because he's a grown man. And if she finds out, whoa, that'll cause the roof to fall off because she comes from a family of lawyers. So I did this because I know in real life, Tom, as nice as he's been and everything that he's done for a living with all these women that Jamie didn't understand what he was doing at work around, did not himself ever receive from other people. People try to give him cakes and cupcakes and stuff, but nothing meaningful. And I had noticed in the podcast, him and Michael have like red rose during their discussion of the episodes, which I cannot watch. First of all, I haven't seen all 10 seasons. Second of all, it just would not be wise with my mental, emotional investment as a writer and stuff in my place. And what I had originally decided I had wanted with that box series to happen for me, becoming friends with Tom. That didn't happen. So I'm cutting the line off of not wanting to hear them talk about everything I already know because I've been there the whole time. But I did want to make a point that he's never had a rose. I don't care if he's been Rob Metzler, the guy in The Choice, Charlie Baker, Clark, or just himself. Nobody's done anything like that for him. But he keeps bleeding himself out for everybody. Right? So it's pretty selfless and some very giving. But eventually you hit a wall and you tire out. So in spite of being mad, I still did something good. And so that's why this year he went to Valentine's the weekend in Vancouver after the years I was already there. And I guess he knew, oh, she must be there. And he just stayed away, avoided, wouldn't go to the Comic-Con there at all. So I leave because my friend passed away. I had to come for the open casket. I had to give a spiritual talk. Best preaching I had ever written in my life. Any rate, now I'm here in Gatineau for the winter to take time off. I cut off my schedule, stayed on this side, because there was issues that were not finished with in Toronto. Still not. I don't know if I'll get that done before coming back. But I refused. Because this discussion is not over between him and me. I refused to go back to Vancouver for February to pay money to go to a Comic-Con where they're talking about stories of characters that Canadians invented. I'm not going to pay into Americans taking money from Canadians' ideas and places where in Canada this stuff is made, and let them go to America with that money in their pocket to live large, be kind to the wrong people, and let them benefit off of that success. I took one photo with him. The t-shirt said Superwoman, not Superman. I gave a cover of the black and white copy of the Smallville reunion movie to him, 2 inches away from where he was standing for him to look at. And he said, gotcha. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll hear from him at the end of the day. So what I wanted to close with here is the gotcha part. The reason I wanted him to touch base with me after we took that picture. Sorry. First thing I thought when I walked in there was, he's tall. I didn't know he was that tall. So point is, I've lost my hair. I had surgery. It thinned out. So you can see it says Superwoman. Right. So the joke was this. I thought his brain was like, oh my God, it's Superwoman. It's the first public appearance in a photograph of Superwoman with anyone. And in all of comic book history, nobody's ever understood where Superwoman is, who she is, and what's going on. And if I'm wearing that shirt and declaring I'm Superwoman, I'm the creator of this character, you think he'd know, okay, this picture is worth a fortune. It's the first one. It's important. And that he'd say, oh, wait a minute, Superwoman, don't go. Wait, can you autograph this? Autograph my arm, my shirt, or the copy of the Smallville reunion cover. There's a purpose behind this in the work but he has to read it to know what it is. I thought the idea of doing animation with him at the public library in Vancouver, where they have all this free stuff for people trying to make it in the industry who need a break financially because you can't afford to pay out and pay out and pay out, would be fun. We can give work to local Canadians, and we could get comfortable getting to know each other doing cartoon stuff. But when I was in Toronto, where we met in that picture at the Comic-Con, I have this van. It's the Superwoman van. I still have the van. But Canadians have been very, very mean. They've been very cooperative with the people in America that have also been very, very mean to me. I'm a very good person, very nice people. Like, I do good things. I volunteer, cook food. I give out clothes. I paid for people's Greyhound tickets. I make products at my own expense, and I send them off to people. And yet you steal from me, steal my Superwoman t-shirts, steal my cell phones. You vandalize my property, no justice ever made, no compensation. And then he's saying that these people, when he reunites with Michael and hangs out with her, that they're like great people saying good things about bad situations. But the year we met, the reason I ended up going to the Comic-Con, because I was getting frustrated with all the Instagram accounts I've had through the years that were being read and then blocked in the messages inside. Now this, at that time, it just said Jessie Rose Lee, but here you can see, oops, what my problem was. I lost it. Emergency. There. Okay. I sent the pictures of what my van was looking like, condition that happened. This was a mom and pop shop mechanics shop. Tire blew, the nuts blew, the rim blew off, and I was grateful to the Staples. They were nice enough to let the van sit there for a week while I figured out what to do. I got another mom and pop shop guy that put a tire on there who fixed everything for me, and I was able to drive it to the place where I was going to school, taking my peer support specialist course while living in this van. I was renting a room at the YMCA in Ottawa. I had cockroach problems. I wasn't amused. Living in the van, paying rent for someplace else. Trying to save my van, trying to get it restored so I could drive it again. Because I drove it across Canada, and my goal was to get across the border and drive from New York to LA, play music, sell demos, do my poetry. By the time I get to Warner Brothers, have a parking spot. Because I had already had You've Got Mail 2 finished and the trilogy finished. And I had the first 39 pages of the Smallville reunion movie done. And the only reason I hadn't finished it sooner is because I had kept crossing my fingers and hoping that Tom would relent, that he would pitch in and support in writing together in a small group of original cast members to finish writing the movie together, to make it awesome. But I guess somewhere inside of his intelligence and his nice, kind person that I'm trying to be mad at, he's like, go for it. Give her. Take the credit. It's all yours. Do it if you can. And so, of course, in COVID, there's nothing else to do. I got locked in. I did get back to my room at the YMCA because I did find a safe place to park the van. But in one of the places I was living in Toronto at that time, when I sent her the messages, I didn't share the messages. I just showed you what it looks like. This guy vandalized my vehicle. I had just put brand new tires on it. Everything was good to go. She was almost ready to safety out of BC plates into Ontario plates so I could keep driving and move on with my Future Productions promotion. So the tires got slashed. The gas hoses got slashed. Brake hoses got slashed. And nobody would do anything, even though there was like an X-Acto blade razor on the ground near the tires. And then he threw me out, kept the damage deposit, because this is a thing he did with multiple renters. When I wrote to Jessie, I asked her very nicely, after leaving her alone for a while, after she'd blocked other accounts, could you please help me reach Tom Welling? Because I knew he was going to be there for the Comic-Con. So I can get his help to reach my money. Didn't need his money. Didn't need a handout. Wasn't doing a song and dance begging for millionaires to keep me rich. I've already done the work. I'm already a finished writer. I've got a lot more to come. Johnny Depp met my mom and my daughter, Sarah, when she was 4. He promised her 2 parts in 2 different movies and promised my mom she'd get some voiceover work. He did not keep that promise. And I met Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie in Alberta. And I was working security there. I had to drive from another city all the way to Alberta because I work for the guy in different cities. He has different offices and he short staff. So I went. And for 2 weeks in the wintertime, I was made to work in my car, which was made out of metal because I do not like fiberglass. I like to repurpose beautiful vehicles that have value still rather than chunking them into big cubes of metal and disposing of them. What a waste. So I froze to death because I had no heat in my car. And this guy, John, what's the name of the security company? Impact Security, wouldn't fix the heat in my car when I told them, hey, my heat stopped working in my car. It's wintertime, like dead of winter, like December. I need heat. I can't, it's freezing. I can't do 12-hour night shifts. The other thing I noticed is all the guards were sitting around, staying warm in their cars or chit-chatting near the gate and stuff. And it's a big piece of property. There is some fence, but you can't stop people with freaking night vision cameras, paparazzi. It's impossible if nobody's doing their job. So I got up and I was walking around the property to keep warm, keep the blood flowing, keep my heart beating, to keep myself alive, to keep myself warm. Because it was actually warmer to be outside in the cold walking around on the property than be sitting in the car freezing because it has no heat in it at all. So then I moseyed on down to the house area to the front. And there's like a little stream, water, rocks. I haven't been camping. Like I'm an inner city urchin. Like I am so Amazon. Like it's the city of Canada, as Steve Martin said for me. Okay. And I was dying to just enjoy the bliss of the silence of the wilderness, the trees and the water flowing because it wasn't frozen. So I sat on this bench near the house and I closed my eyes and I breathed. And I just took in the time, the moment, and the experience, and it was wonderful for the few minutes. So I guess while that was happening, I was on camera. And so there was a complaint made that I was sleeping. But I wasn't. I was simply enjoying the fact that I wasn't rich enough to go and rent a place like that and take a couple of months off and have a vacation. To this day, I have not been into a cabin with a fireplace. I haven't had my wood cutter. Learned to cut wood if you didn't already know how and stood up a fire, wear his lumber jacket and his plaid shirt and learned to do the voyageur boots and stuff. Blue collar guy. Give me this wish. Right? And he has that big sign with Michael making dreams come true. My dream was not Smallville. I just wanted to impress Steve Martin by doing a big enough resume in my writing career to make Steve Martin happy. And it just blew up. And I think this thing with Christopher Reeve after Heath died, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do A Knight's Tale too. And Christopher was like, because I'm on my way up, and I didn't know that. And he was on the show, and I didn't know that either. I stepped back to my childhood when I remembered watching this scene, knock on the door, Faye Dunaway, joke about Jehovah's Witness. And I'm 9 years old and I'm like, wait a minute. That's not funny. We're not all the same. Like the kind of personality, the idea of what we're like. I have feelings. I have a sense of humor. I have imagination. I have experience. I know stuff. And I said, when I grow up, I'm going to write part 2 to that. And so when I stepped back in the puddle and I broke my brand new pair of glasses, and I like expensive glasses, on the highway when I was hitchhiking in an area that was so dangerous, I didn't know it was dangerous and shouldn't have done it. Christopher was with me. And he's like, no, instead of A Knight's Tale 2, you're going to do something bigger. And I had seen all these areas where we could cast for different projects, which now have not been done in the time that they could have been. Henceforth, the destruction, the fall of Hollywood. So if he had been told, if she had just politely said, Tom, You need to read this. You need to see this. Superwoman is having a problem and she needs your help. She's in Toronto and you're going to be there. Right? Because I was already approved on his messenger in Facebook like years ago. He's just never looked me up and contacted me and sent the message through the messenger. But I saw him approve it. I'm like, oh, okay, good. So I'm in there. Because Brad Pitt would have fixed it. Brad and Angie probably could have become peaceable with each other and stopped fighting. But Brad started smoking more weed and drinking every day, and they were fighting. Things were going wrong because there was something inside of him he didn't feel right about, something bugging him. But he would never fire somebody for not having heat in their car. In fact, they had a beautiful truck next to the house. And I just know because I looked hot then. I was just beautiful. Wait. I was dressed as security guard, basically looking like this. And then he was with Angie. Now, of course, you got to imagine what Angie might have been thinking when she was looking at you on the property in security uniform, doing a manly job, dressed like man, girl man, where everybody's like, wow, I'm just like to know you. Like, they don't come that pretty in security. They're always like weird looking or something. But that was me. And that's the girl that was supposed to make it onto Smallville. And you can see the resemblance of how Erica Durance ended up getting cast for my part. Nothing gets really more natural than proof. And that was a different pair of lovely glasses. I loved those glasses too. How many glasses I went through trying to reach Clark. But point is, his instincts knew something wasn't right with the show. And so when he got to the gotcha moment in our pictures together, I thought I would have heard from him. I didn't. And in all that time, she just continues to block the accounts and the messages sent. I know Tom. If she had told him I needed help with the Superwoman van and getting to Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp so that Brad Pitt could go to John and say, how dare you fire her for not having heat in her car? Right? Brad would have put me in his truck and it would have been heated and so nice that basically he would have picked up a piece of furniture and he would have taken it. Okay, this one's coming with us. Because I was already an artist, already a writer, already had songs. Eminem was already needing me. Other people were already looking for what I was skilled to do. But I was already meant to be something. I was there because I had wanted to meet Heath Ledger, and I had been told by Little Birdie that because of their friendship that he might show up. Now, if I'd been able to talk to Brad and mention that, he probably would have arranged that. And Heath would still be alive because I would have been able to do my job as a bodyguard and say, no, don't take that. In fact, don't hang out with them. Just stay with me. And Heath would have been like, okay, yeah, good idea. And so for years, same thing with Tom. Not paid, still doing my job. Behind the scenes, you don't see me, you don't know me, but I'm there. Keeping track of all kinds of creepy girls doing all kinds of creepy things, all kinds of fans, even imposters trying to be him, hitting on me. Really funny. So this whole podcast thing, let's talk about Tom Welling thing, and he's looking through all the stuff that I've had to go through unpaid, would be really good, funny. But it just beefs me that since this time, still going around doing Comic-Cons, I'm still not talked about. But Fatima, one of the obsessed fans, has been mentioned multiple times, all because of the rule unsolicited material is not accepted. Because I don't listen to every word. I don't feed off all of it because I don't need to. I'm already in the lead. Everybody wants work. They got to come over here to this side. We got to fill all the condos of all the 50,000 people that have died on fentanyl in the last 10 years. Justin was in office, and bring over more Europeans so we can take back this house and make it what it should be as a Canadian country that I was born into, that it is not today. I don't recognize where I am. Right? So she had one opportunity to do something right on time that would have fixed everything, and everything would be the way it is and the way it should be, including Donald Trump being in the Supergirl trilogy. So that's what I wanted to share as my beef with honesty versus dishonesty, and saying good about bad and bad things about good things. No matter which way you cut it, you can't say bad things about me. And you can't say that that's the best thing ever come into the universe. And there's no way of getting around that for him. But I don't want him to get drunk again and get another DUI, because she'd love it if he lost his right to drive. No driver's license, you ain't going anywhere. If all the roles you get offered, Tom, are just playing bad guys, that would be terrible. I do want to see Clark survive. I do want to reach Charlie Baker and Steve Martin. And I want to see you try to, grovel for work, and You've Got Mail too. But mostly I just want you to read the stuff and have a good time and know that you have one girl in this industry as security that you can actually trust with your life. I'm honest, and I'm going to stay that way. I'm going to tell the truth all the way through this. There is another post that she posted about kids holding alcohol bottles and having a vision board, basically encouraging that they're going to grow up to drink. And that led to his DUI. And so this is stuff he needs to see, because this does make a difference on us. But I wanted to end in these little wisdom shots. Life lesson. Never search your happiness in others. It will make you feel alone. Search it in yourself. You will feel happy even when you are left alone. And that's the Tom I missed, because when he was on his own, he was doing well. And if he had just stayed on the path, the blessing would have been just unreal, tantamount. Hollywood would be happy. The fans would be happy. Reporters wouldn't be writing far cry from the Tom Welling we knew as Clark Kent in Smallville. It's okay to lose people, but never lose yourself for people. And so that's what I fought so hard to do, is to save his soul from not having that light turn off. Like I talked about in many things, laziness kills ambition. Anger kills wisdom. Fear kills dreams. Ego kills growth. And jealousy kills peace. Right? So I want to end on that, about the fact that that's not Tom Welling. 22 years of celebrating Smallville instead of continuing to make the show and have many more drop-in visits, reunions here, episodes here. And I get a headache, because I'm just trying to do something good for a person I saw was good when he was playing Charlie Baker. I would have liked to seen this contract signed by everybody whose name's on this list. Maybe it'll still happen. I'm not sure where I put it, but maybe. But I just thought it'd be funny if we matched point with the new symbol that I've created. It's a bird, it's playing symbol. Hey, wait, he's wearing plaid here. See, that's right. That's the right clothes. At any rate, I have new pictures coming. I have lots of pictures I've already taken that I have not put up because it doesn't go on the website. But on that mark, I'm going to go to the website. And I'm going to show everybody, before I sign off, futureproductions.online.com. Books, and more books. Poetry. You've Got Mail too. This is my poetry books. That's one. That's two. I read the first one. There's the third one. There's the Supergirl trilogy. Ending on, I did write Supergirl 2. And then it kept going on and on and on. And now I have 3. So I got Supergirl 2, 3, and 4. I was blessed. Multiplicity. So after writing You've Got Mail 2 as my first major motion picture movie, boom, out came the trilogy. The long one. And I have a second part to my You've Got Mail stuff, but I didn't get to finish. Robin Williams died. The world's biggest bookstore died. Big Honest Ed store was gone. Like, it's just lots fell apart from 9/11 and everything that's happening in the world. Smallville, the movie. Finished July 1st, 2020, 2:30 a.m. Everybody in LA was probably still awake. So the only way that's going to get done is through Future Productions over here. It's not going to matter about Paramount, Netflix, and Warner Brothers. I don't want to own those companies. I don't need to own those. I already own Warner Brothers from over here. Paramount has to do with Interview with the Vampire, Tom Cruise and Christian Slater and Alfred Hitchcock. Good evening and welcome to Alfred Hitchcock. But I'm good. I don't like volcanoes. I don't like earthquakes. I don't like guns, mass killings of innocent people. I've had enough of death. I get enough of it over here. Crime is one of the things I investigate. That's my job. I am working on finishing my security company website and licensing and registering my company on this side as well. And I'm open for independent single contracts as an unmarked guard, travel with my clients with passport. And I do recommend, Tom, you should have a bodyguard, somebody that does the background material for you. So now I'm going to go to Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. You all know who you are. These are a series of professional shots I got done as a birthday. For myself, it's like self-love. In 2022, it's the show must go on, as the saying goes, in spite of invisible challenges and conditions in one's life. So this is for the good luck year that is ahead for us all. So there's the beautiful pictures. Buy photos, buy now. Very, very, very good. There is a picture that has more reveal. I cannot put on the website. I did send it to somebody that Tom's recently taken a picture with and pointed his finger at. Oh, this guy? Yeah, that guy. And so he could have actually discussed it with him because he can't look at it and ask him to tell him. So people can go and purchase these photos. They are beautiful because I am beautiful. And I wanted to express how hard the people worked for me to do this one thing. I asked them to do a super symbol. I gotta get in color here. If you can see it. Okay, so that's like the super symbol, right? For Superwoman and Superman, the twins, the fraternal twin system, siblings, and the new symbols that I've designed, which I'm not going to show here. I just wanted to close with the fact that these have been up for years already and goes with Tom's previous photography experiences already. Pictures I have not shown much of yet. But if you keep coming back to Let's Talk About Tom Welling episodes, I am mighty inclined to share some of the stuff that I like and some of the stuff that bugs me. And if he's able to maybe reach on time, stop me from, no, don't show that moment, maybe. At any rate, those pictures are not what's right for now. And I do dare him and invite him to join in on the self-love passion series, wood cutting, lumberjack, French pioneer version of the photo series I have in my head to do instead for the future and have way more fun with what I have to offer for what's ahead with Future Productions. So I wish you luck. That picture is not Tom Welling, so you all know. And I'm hoping that he won't have to now do that at a Comic-Con for himself in his self-defense. But I do want to see if there's a way to get him to fly in the costume for the right reasons. So that said, I still want Charlie Baker. I still want to do Cheaper by the Dozen 3, aka Baker's Dozen. So in his defense, people make mistakes, not perfect, but you can't have it both ways. It's God or the other guy. It can't be both while you're still flying around calling yourself super wearing superhero costume. So there's a cost involved in that kind of dishonesty. And so I'm praying that my doing this in his defense will lead to the right outcome for his well-being, because everybody enjoys him and would like to have seen him grow higher. I don't, people are like, why doesn't he have a Hollywood star? Because there's been issues. So if we helped do things together to fix the issues, maybe he'll climb higher in the industry. Maybe we can do something to rescue Hollywood and make it something we could all enjoy again. At any rate, I'm focusing on Steve Martin Cheaper by the Dozen series and other stuff, and see what happens when I reach them. So everybody's welcome to send their headshots, resumes, and $20 registration fee if they want to be in the work, submit what they're good at doing, and help to just apologize for the damage done to the Superman van, getting it restored at a proper restoration shop so I can get around driving in it again, and have fun being Superwoman. I still haven't found somebody to make that costume I have in mind. I did have somebody before, but I wasn't in good enough health then. I did want to be the first person to wear the costume, so I'm still hoping to be able to do that. I do hope to make another movie called Superwoman Story and use Henry Cavill as the Superman fraternal twins in that story. Hopefully, Bryan Singer's still up for being producer, a part of that team. And then crossover Spider-Man with a big mess of things that's going on over here. Of course, it'd have to be Tom Holland. I don't have a choice now. Has to be him. And of course, both being British, me being British, just keeping ourselves employed is a good thing. So yeah, participate, pitch in, help. Let's build future productions. So there's a future for everybody in this industry that wants to work, because I am sick of the rule unsolicited material unaccepted. And I am going to tank that battleship. Not going to participate in anything that's going over there financially. If they can't make a profit that pays all the bills, if they're spending faster than they're earning and they can't make it work, that's on them. Right? If you don't want to talk about me, don't want to admit that I exist, don't want to admit that future productions exist, you don't want to admit that the best writers in the world are the unsolicited ones, and you keep wanting to take movie scripts from people that are using representatives that are actually not writing anything that's good, that's on you. Giving yourselves reward, patting yourself on the back for stuff that's actually terrible, having producers think they're good at stuff when they're actually not, and nobody's telling them, and they should. So I'm going to leave it there at that. And stay where there's no earthquakes or lava, volcanoes that haven't blown up for 50,000 years that are overdue in doing so, and all kinds of other weird storms. And I like clean water and wildlife. So peace out from Gatineau, Quebec. My goal line to go back to BC is April. So if things don't work out with Ben Affleck and other people over here on this side, well, I'm here because I'm going to Montreal in March. That's where I'll be, over there. Then I can get back to doing Green Room episodes. So anyways, I just want to say goodbye with the other poster. Bye. Peace out, guys, everybody. Not TV signing out. So Brian, it's not Tom Welling. He wouldn't do that. Hey, wait, Christian Slater, River Phoenix. Leaf, don't celebrate Halloween.